Hi everyone, welcome back to episode 3 of the chapter by chapter for From Below by Darcy Coates. I'm Di, and this is my audio only reading vlog for this book. Today I will be reading chapters 17 through 24 and sharing my thoughts with you along the way. Due to the nature of this reading vlog, there will be spoilers, so if you haven't read these chapters yet, I suggest that you not listen to this recording until you have. So I'm very excited to get into these chapters today, especially with what was uncovered at the end of chapter 16. Like I mentioned in the previous episode, I'm really enjoying the more uneasy, kind of creepy-ish environment that we are having at the moment. And I'm enjoying seeing what is coming about as they roam the ship, as well as the little flashback scenes from when the ship was actually active. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start in on chapter 17, and I will be back with you to share my thoughts later. So I just finished chapter 19, and I had a couple things that I thought I'd mention, some thoughts that I had while reading these chapters, and so I thought I'd hop on and share them with you before I continued on through the rest of the chapters. So, first of all, I've mentioned him before, Aiden got really, really lucky with the amount of oxygen he had left coming up from the dive. Do we think that he is going to do the same thing on the next dive? Is he going to be that risky? Has he learned his lesson? I'm not quite sure. I kind of feel like he would still push the limit on the next dive, but I'm hoping that he's kind of freaked himself out a little bit with how close he got and won't do that on the next dive, but who knows? The other thing that kind of stood out to me was Vanna and her diary. Why didn't Sean say anything to her? I mean, obviously he brought it to the table. I think it said he looked like he was going to say something, but he ended up not saying anything at all. And is that going to be detrimental? I don't know. I mean, Vanna's kind of been real silent, I guess. She doesn't talk very much while they're on their dive. And so I don't know how to read her. So I think if Sean had asked, hey, what's this all about? Or at least brought up, his theory to the rest of the team, because I think it's important. It might have, got some things out in the open. She could just be literally writing things in her diary, not that it's meant towards anyone, but, thoughts that she has in her head or whatever, which is fine. But in light of what Sean thinks is going on, where he thinks the ROVs was sabotaged, he thinks the comms were sabotaged, I think it's valid reason to ask, and a valid reason why he might have gone to look for some evidence, but nothing came of that. She ended up leaving the room with her diary in hand. So, yeah, curious about if she's up to anything. And like I said, I don't know at this point how to read her. The other thought I had, and this is going to sound a little bit weird, but they came across a body, right? Came across a body. The body is now free floating in the ship. Was it free floating before? Did it get dislodged, which is why it floated up in front of them in the ship? We don't know. Are they going to call somebody to recover the body? I mean, that I would think is the proper thing to do, right? Recover the body, identify maybe who it was. I mean, they said the body is pretty well preserved, but as of right now, it seems like they're just going to let the body free float throughout the ship, which means that there's a possibility that even though they're saying that they'll avoid the area where the body's at, the body could float anywhere within that ship, right? I mean, we don't know what the currents are like inside the ship. You would think that the ship is pretty closed, so there's not really much movement of water, but you never know. Could there be the possibility that there are other bodies amongst the wreckage. I mean, if there's one, there could be more, right? So that's a little freaky. I think that's definitely going to be something that is going to weigh in the back of their minds as they do their next dive. But yeah, those are kind of my thoughts at the moment. I'm going to go ahead and continue to chapter 20, but I just wanted to share the random thoughts that I had in my head while I was reading these chapters with you while they were fresh in my mind. So I'm going to go on to chapter 20 and I'll be back with you in a bit. Okay, I just finished chapter 24. Yikes. Oh, do we want to guess what is holding on to Aiden's leg? And that discovery in the hull of the ship? They're in the walls indeed, aren't they? I think that with these chapters, we're definitely still trying to push that creep factor, I kind of feel like, but at the same time, I don't know. I'm not feeling as creeped out as I thought I'd be. I think if I were watching this, it would be different. But because I'm reading it and my mind is kind of keeping me in a safe zone, I guess. I'm not picturing what's happening as scarily as I think it would come across on, say, a film or a TV show. But yeah, I'm not really getting that kind of scared factor, I guess. It's definitely creepy. And I am reading at night. It's about 1:53 a.m., my normal time to read before bed. And so, yeah, I don't feel like I won't be able to sleep. In fact, I've slept fine the last few nights since we started reading the book. And so, yeah, it's kind of a low kind of creep factor, I guess. I don't know. You tell me how you're feeling about the creep factor. Is it a high level for you? Low level? Mediocre? I'd really like to know, because we all kind of perceive these situations differently. But for me, there's a nice creep factor, but not enough where I'm like, oh my gosh, I won't be able to sleep tonight. I'll definitely be able to sleep tonight. But yeah, enjoying this so far. We are nicely into the book at the moment, so I don't really have much more to say. I think with the fact that there is an issue with the dive line being loose, and the fact that finding Cove and her team in that room at the moment is going to be difficult. We will see how that all plays out. What happened to the dive line, I presume we'll find out in the next few chapters. Maybe not. But yeah, what is holding on to Aiden's foot, and why was there a body in the hull of the ship? I would really like to know that. So hopefully we'll get a little bit more information on all of that in tomorrow's chapters. So yeah, I will be reading chapters 25 through 32 tomorrow. And let me know down in the comments below what you thought of these chapters. Do you feel like Aiden is going to take another risk with his oxygen? I mean, they did say, let us know when your tank reaches 70%. Nobody's really looked. I think, well, Cove did try to look, but the sediment was so thick that she couldn't see. I think that's what it said. But yeah, will this hinder their ability to get out in time? Are they going to have an issue with their oxygen tanks on the way back up. It all depends on how fast Vanna can get to them, what the situation is when she does get to them, and what the heck is going on with whatever is holding on to Aiden's foot, right? So I'm really looking forward to tomorrow's chapters. Again, let me know down in the comments below what you think. Are you enjoying this read so far? Again, tell me what you think of the creep factor. Is it a lot for you? Is it not so much? I'd really love to know. And if nothing else, and you'd just like to let me know that you were here, if you could leave me an ocean emoji down in the comments below, that would be greatly appreciated. It would really help me out, and that will do it for me today. So I hope you're all doing great. I hope you're all safe and healthy. And until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.